All right, we're going to go ahead and open up 7-Skyline. And we're going to enable the content. And we are going to be performing a variety of filters. And filters are basically used to limit the number of records that you are looking at in a table, a query, and even in a report. So we are going to start with our employee table. So we're going to go ahead and open that. And then we are going to go into our city field, any entry. And they want us to select the filter button. And so then what we're getting is a drop-down list for city. Now, normally what I do is just point to the arrow on the field and click on it. Does the exact same thing. And so what we want is to get rid of the check mark next to select all because we don't want to see all of the cities. And we do want to see Fort Myers. So we're going to put a little check next to Fort Myers and click OK. So what the filter did was it's only showing us records where the city is equal to Fort Myers. And so that I can see that you've done this, instead of printing this out, which is not a good solution for turning it in, what we're going to do is launch a Word document. And I'll pull this over so you can see it. I'm going to go ahead and choose blank document. And I'm going to label this city equals Fort Myers. And press enter. And I'm going to pull this out of the way. You have two options. You can either click in the corner and copy, and then go into Word and paste it right below your heading. Okay, or you press enter a couple times. You can use the snipping tool, and the snipping tool is actually kind of fun to use. So let me kind of click here away from everything. To launch this snipping tool in Windows 10, I think the easiest thing to do is just to click on the search box, key in the word snip or snipping, and then you should see it display up here. So I'm going to click on it, and that actually launches it. And let me pull it over here. When you click on new, what happens is that it puts a white kind of a haze over everything. And then you just take your mouse crosshair and drag it over what you want to see. And that puts it inside the snipping tool. And then you just go to edit and copy. And then you can go into your Word document and hit paste. And there are the results. So your choices are either copying and pasting the records or using the snipping tool, okay, to get the results. You do not have to use both. Okay? I'm giving you an option of either one. So we're going to move on to the next one. This little toggle filter will remove the filter or it will reapply the last filter. And that's why it's called a toggle, goes back and forth. We want to display everything again. And then they want us to clear out the filter from the city. And to do that, we can actually click on this little menu here, little arrow, and choose Clear Filter from City. And then at this point, We're done with this table, so we're going to right click and close it. And yes, we'll save our changes. And then what we're going to move on to next is creating a form. So we're going to select our order table, go into create, and they just want us to click on form. Okay, so that creates a pretty simple form. We're going to save it. Orders is fine for the name, so we're going to click OK. And what we're going to do next is we are going to filter the records and display only those records with a supplier ID number of 2. So let's go into Form View. And we'll click on Supplier ID. And then we're going to click on the Filter button. Okay, and that displays that little filter dropdown. And you'll notice there is no little arrow like there is in tables. So you pretty much have to click in the field and click on the filter button to get the dropdown. And what we want is supplier 2. So we're going to remove the check next to select all, and then we're just going to put one next to supplier 2 and click OK. Now when you look at the bottom in the navigation area, it now indicates that this is a filtered search. And if we navigate through, you'll notice that the only records displaying are those that have an ID of 2. Now, in order for me to see that you did this, for this one, you are going to have to use the snipping tool. So if you didn't launch it before, you're going to click on that, key in snipping. And then we're going to do a new one. And for this, we're going to drag all the way to the bottom, because that way I can see that the filter was applied. And we'll go to Edit and Copy. And then we're going to go into our Word document. Okay, and then we will key in supplier ID equal to 2. And this is a filter in a form. And then I'm just pasting, pressing Control and the letter V. And as I mentioned earlier, you do not need to do both techniques. I'm probably going to get rid of this first one. Now, once you put it in here, if you want to grab a corner and resize it a little, that's fine. Okay, make sure you put the labels in. And then we are going to save this. And we are going to put this in that Access Level 1, Chapter 7 folder. And we're going to call it Chapter 7 Filters.